welcome to Thoughts for Thursday. If you believe in a fearless, free, and fulfilled life, this is the place to be. I'm Katie Bach, and today I'm going to talk to you about your intuition versus your ego. So we're going to talk about what your intuition is, what your ego is, how to tell the difference between the two, and ways that you can tap into your intuition and really hear what it is saying to you. So without further ado, let's begin. What is your intuition? Your intuition is that soft, gentle voice that is speaking from your soul. It speaks your heart's desires, has the highest good in mind, and it's a very soft voice. It's your inner knowing, your inner wisdom that speaks to you. Sometimes people refer to it as a gut feeling, or you feel it in your bones. All those sayings like that has to do with your intuition. Now, what is your ego? Your ego is that other voice inside that has an actually really important job to protect you physically and mentally. So the ego often gets a bad rap, but it does have an important purpose. And that's something to remember. It is there to protect you. So that also means that the ego sits in fear. Your intuition sits in love. So when you start hearing those shoulds and should nots, that's your ego. Your intuition gives you one solid answer, speaking from your heart's desire without fear. It is just speaking what you desire, what you need, what that inner wisdom is saying. It is only coming from a place of love. Your ego sits in fear, and it really often has this need for control. So when you are feeling that control aspect, like you need to control the situation, the moment, the choice, control the outcome, that is your ego. When you want to be in touch with your intuition, take a step back out of the need to control and just accept and surrender. I know, two big hard words: accept and surrender. Your intuition steps from love, it speaks from love, and it's pushing you towards love when it guides you. So coming into a place of acceptance of where you are, surrendering to things unfolding as they will without needing to control an outcome, is standing with your intuition. Now, your intuition, it can guide you in any moment, and it speaks to you all the time. But we have this constant struggle between what is our ego and what is our intuition, and it's something I struggle with sometimes too. You wouldn't believe the conversations I have in my head back and forth with, was that my ego? Is that my intuition? Which one's telling me which one's this and which one's, it can be like that. I seriously have that sometimes. And it's just a matter of realizing what your intuition is and what your ego is, and being able to determine the difference so that you can choose to follow that intuition, or if you want to go with your ego, if you're feeling like you need that protection of the ego, then you go with your ego. But your intuition is guiding you towards love, speaking your heart's desires, speaking from your soul, and giving you that wisdom and knowledge that you have within you. So one of the ways that I determine if my ego is speaking to me or if my intuition is speaking to me, number one way is it yelling at me or is it speaking softly? Your intuition is a soft and gentle voice. It's almost sometimes just a whisper. It's like that little tapping on your shoulder that you feel, that little pull that you feel towards something. It's not demanding you. It's not anything like that. Now, your ego will demand, it will come out yelling and screaming. It'll say, oh, no, you can't do that. That's not right. That's wrong. You shouldn't be. That's where your ego is going to be. It's going to pull in all the fear. Well, I shouldn't be doing that, or I should be doing this, or this can't be right because it doesn't work like that, or, what if this happens? That's your ego. Your intuition is going to give you one gentle, solid answer, and it's going to stay with that answer. Your ego will jump from different answers and it will try to reason with you. So when you're in that mindset of trying to reason with why or why not, that's your ego. Your intuition just stays solid. It doesn't give you a reason. It just says, this is it. This is your guidance. This is what you need. This is the wisdom. Your ego will try to reason. It will try to give you reasons or explanations as to why or why not. And it will also jump. Your intuition stays solid in that answer it gives you because it's speaking from your heart's desire. So that is really the way that you can tell the difference. And another way is if you look at it is this a fearful thought or is this a place from love? Is an example could be, so when I started my business, there is a ton of stuff that comes with starting a business, and there is a ton of fear that can come with starting a business. And what if you fail? What if you don't? What if it doesn't work? And of course I had those thoughts, but that was my ego, because my heart's desire was to teach yoga and to share it with the world and to speak to you like I do now, like I am right now. And that was my intuition telling me, Katie, get out there and do it. The world is there for you. Shine your light. And my ego was presenting fear. So that's just one example of how you can kind of look at when your intuition is speaking to you and when your ego is speaking to you. It can be small things in life. It can be big things in life. You never know, but that intuition is always there and it is always guiding you. You just have to begin to differentiate between the intuition and the ego. So your intuition's muscle will strengthen the more that you listen to it and the more that you trust it, the more you access it. So the more that you listen to that intuition, the stronger that voice will get and the easier it will be to tell the difference between your intuition and your ego. A couple ways to really dive into connecting to your intuition and understanding and listening to what it says is, one, getting some quiet time to meditate. Maybe it's a guided meditation where you actually connect to a spirit animal or to your higher self. Or maybe it's just a meditation of breathing, just something to calm down the mind. We have so many thoughts in a day, and if we are just trying to sift through the chaos, it can be really difficult. But if we take the time to quiet the mind, to calm down a little bit, sit in a meditation, if it's guided or if it's just a couple minutes to yourself to breathe, then you are clearing out some of that chaos, the chaos of, the to-do list and all your responsibilities and tasks that you have to do in the day. And you can come down to a little bit of a calmer and quieter mind to be able to say, okay, well, this seems like my intuition speaking, and this is like my ego. You can also start journaling. This is the second way to get in touch with your intuition, to really listen to what it says, to journal. So do that meditation and then write down what's in your head, because when we try to sift through it in our head, that can be chaotic. That can be overwhelming. And if we write it on paper, we're getting it out of our head, and then we can look at what's actually happening on that piece of paper. We can see the thoughts, and you can say, oh, well, this is coming from love, and this is coming from fear. You can really look at the thought and discover how you actually feel about it. Does it feel good? Because your intuition is going to speak to you, and it's going to feel good. Your ego is just going to try to prop you up. It's going to, again, give you those reasons and try to get you to fall into what it says. So, journaling, a really great way to journal and to get in touch with your intuition is doing something called morning pages. They are, you wake up 30 minutes, 10 minutes before you would normally wake up, whatever you want to do. Your journal's right next to you in bed. You don't even get out of bed. You just go grab that journal and you start writing whatever comes into your mind. and you are still actually connected to your subconscious at this time. So you are writing from your subconscious, and it comes up with beautiful things. I did a training and a lady talked about this. She did morning pages, and for years she wrote, "I will write beautiful music." And she would look at it and she'd be like, "What? No, not gonna happen." And then at the time I took the training, she had written several beautiful pieces with composers, and she was creating beautiful music. So it was her heart's desire speaking to her, and her ego wasn't believing it, wasn't having any of it. But as time went by, it did end up happening because her intuition stayed consistent with, this is what you want to do. This is what fulfills you. Anyway, so your challenge this week is to get in touch with your intuition. Either find some quiet time to allow yourself to connect to what's going on within you, or start journaling, try morning pages, whatever you can take 5 to 10 minutes to do and connect to your intuition, and start that process of discovering when your intuition speaks to you and when your ego is speaking. And I promise you, it will open so many doors when you start listening to that intuition. It is such a beautiful thing. So your challenge this week, connect to your intuition, and you have a wonderful week. I will see you soon.